What was once a Topeka treasure now being turned into rubble, making room for something new to possibly take its place. So how did White Lakes Mall get here? How did 50+ years of a booming new mall in Topeka become a thing of history? December 29th, 2020, the day a fire broke out in South Topeka inside the historic White Lakes Mall. A fire that was the starting point to its demolition on March 8th, 2022. But how did we get here? How did this once thriving mall become an eyesore that sat empty on Topeka Boulevard? Was it a lack of interest in going there? Was it the newer mall on the other side of town? Or was it just built to eventually end in this fate? To answer that, let's take a step back. If you grew up in or around Topeka like Jason Pickerel and Patty Lanham, you know what it was like hanging out at White Lakes in the 70s and 80s.
I mean, we liked everything. It was just the place to go.
It was always fun to get out of the small town and come cruising here in Topeka back when I was a teenager.
The mall meant a lot to these two who came down to Topeka on the weekends from their small towns. For Patty, she fatefully met the love of her life, her husband, in the mall's parking lot.
They were supposed to be meeting somebody there and they thought we were them and we weren't, and so we started talking.
And of course, no one forgets the Orange Julius.
It was always a treat, when I was a little kid in the 70s. That was one way my mom was able to lure us to go shopping because I hated shopping. I would get my Orange Julius and it made everything better.
This was all about 2 decades after the mall first opened, a time when it was still being looked after. White Lakes officially opened on October 15th, 1964. It was a pretty big deal then. So much so, the founder, JCPenney himself, stopped in Top City to check out his latest store and meet the customers. Sears, Walgreens, and Woolworths also joined JCPenney at the Mall of Tomorrow. Not to mention, there was a Falley's grocery store there as well. But the cherry on top, it was all local people who made the vision of the mall come to life.
Keith Myers was able to get Penny's and Sears to be the anchors, and they actually owned the land under their buildings, and each had 150,000 square foot roughly, so that they had enough skin in the game that showed that the national folks thought this would work, so the local folks could borrow the money they needed.
For a while, South Topeka was booming. Then it was go west, young man. The west side of the town was starting to take shape in the late 80s. With this came a new mall, Westridge. Don Chubb, a Topeka historian, says this mall was different because it was actually built by people in the mall industry, which means as people started to move on, so did the businesses.
Westridge didn't kill off the mall, so it just hurried the end of White Lakes.
The multiple owners of White Lakes tried everything to keep it viable. Renovations and expansions were happening, but it wasn't enough. The once loud and vibrant space went silent.
It was just dead quiet. The only sound that I could hear was dripping water from one of the ends near mainline printing.
Now 50+ years later, in 2020, the mall is still standing, however empty and abandoned. Homeless camps occupying spaces they could safely be in, where there wasn't water taking up space. Emily Cowan with AbandonedKansas.com took these pictures in January of 2020. The roof was damaged, moss was growing, things were thrown around. On top of that, hazards like asbestos and black mold. But the city couldn't knock it down since it was owned by KDL Inc., which was ran by Kent Lindemuth. He had a deadline to sell it before the city took over. So in August of 2020, the building was condemned, which meant Topeka Fire could not go inside for safety reasons. This is important to note, because once the fire hit in December of 2020, they couldn't go inside, only working outside the building to put out the flames.
I don't necessarily think it was the straw that broke the camel's back, but I do think it was what, spearheaded them demolishing it, yes.
Now today, the mall is going through a demolition that started in March of this year.
Things come and go, and our interests come and go, and White Lakes Mall we weren't interested anymore. We voted by not being there that it wasn't viable.
Leaving behind 58 years of memories, building a new beginning for a new 58.
Now, thousands and thousands of people watching that story had these flood of memories in their minds right now and talking about it. And I know you had a good time chatting with folks about it.
Such a great time, and it's it just cracks me up every single time. Somebody just like, yeah, we love this, Orange Julius. Every time it just goes back to the Orange Julius. So it was really, hearing the people share their memories, it was kind of sad. It's something that's inanimate, but it's a part of history. And so it was a pretty
great story, but sad to see.
And there might be a follow-up, too, because
yeah.
we've got to see what happens to the space.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, 57 years of history is a lot to cover, so there is so much more to know when it comes to this mall, including how a Snapchat video became evidence of the teens who started that fire.
So be sure to go to KSNT.com to check out much more on the history of this great mall, and also let us know if you have special memories to share.
Absolutely.